Hey, what's up, witches? It's me, Luna, and I'm here with a deck unboxing and review for you today. Please stick around to the end after the flip through because I always do a test drive on the deck, and you may actually get a message that helps you today. What I'm looking at today, this is a rescue deck. I went to our wonderful little head shop in town, Puff and Stuff, and they had all their decks on sale to begin with, but this was in kind of the delete bin, the deep clearance sale, and you can see it's nicked and dinged all over. The box was absolutely falling apart. It was open, of course, and it was falling apart, and it was very cheap, and it's like, I can't let that deck just sit there in the delete bin, especially not a US Games deck, because I'm a big fan. This is the Chinese Tarot deck by Zhui Guoyang. And as you can see, I've already done my tape thing. I mean, it was floppy, falling apart, but you can make these boxes stick around longer with a little bit of Scotch tape. Traditional Chinese paintings offer vibrant interpretations of the major and minor arcana. Zhui Guoyang skillfully blends archetypal elements of ancient Chinese literature, legend, and culture with subtle tarot symbolism. And there's just one image on the back, includes 78 card deck with instruction booklet. The copyright on this is 1989 and 2013, so this deck has been around a while, and that makes me happy too. All right. So we got the little white book. Text by Stuart Kaplan. So this was the age when new US Games decks would come out, and we had beautiful artwork, but the text in them was the same. It was all the meanings, standard meanings by Stuart Kaplan. We have an introduction to Tarot, which I will not read, and then we're right into the major arcana. So let's see what we get here. The Fool in China is seen as foolish and comic, but is also considered a kind and honorable person. Divinatory meanings: folly, lack of discipline, immaturity, irrationality, frivolity, delirium, frenzy, enthusiasm, naivete, and reverse: bad decision, apathy, hesitation, negligence. So we just get those very basic meanings. And then magic is used in Chinese folklore for curing wounds and illness, for gaining love and power. That's all we get, is that just a short description to talk about, how it relates to China and Chinese legend and history. Okay. Minors, same thing. We start with the kings and go backwards. King is attended by two men, sheltered by an umbrella, armed with a sword. Taoist priest launches an attack. A youth struggles against swords. So we don't get a lot of explanation. And, unfortunately, but this is a deck of its time. I think if this deck were put out new now, we would probably get more about each image. And once we get to the very end of the card descriptions, 10 card spread, Celtic cross, off we go. I do believe that was the shortest book review I've done in a hell of a long time. Okay, here are the backs. And there, you can see better. So they're very stylized dancers with these, silks flowing, obviously non-directional because we allow for reverses. Interesting, the cards are kind of ridged. Oh, you can't see that. It's very minor. All right. So we get a blocking card and another blocking card. Always appreciated. Great mercy, great compassion, it says. So that's probably what that says. If you don't know what blocking is, it's before you put your deck away, you take a card and put it like this, so that it kind of closes the door on the deck so it can't absorb random energies. Here's the Fool. So we see a raggedy man Definitely looking like the Fool. We don't have an animal nipping at his heels, but we've got that a long piece of bamboo that he's holding in a leaf for a fan. Here's the Magician. We can see the elements. Wow, I mean, there's a flaming sword. Is that smoke coming out of his mouth? That looks like smoke there. So we don't really see the 4 elements. I don't see any water. But that's the Magician. High Priestess, definitely the style of, Chinese art. It's beautiful, it's detailed. We have Roman numerals on the majors, and this is High Priestess. But she looks like a man, baby. She's very mannish looking. We do get the hint of columns, and look at the smoke, the veil behind. She's holding prayer beads. Here's the Empress. It's gorgeous. Yep, this is the image from the box. And so we see, I don't know if that's, no, it's not. See, there are Chinese characters. And how I wish something told us what those characters mean. Dang. But they're definitely rich and detailed and absolutely beautiful. I love this style of art. Here's the Emperor. The reds, the rich reds and golds, and just beautiful. The Hierophant is Heavenly Master. We don't get supplicants. We get the yin yang and the trigrams of the I Ching. So you definitely get that idea of spirituality and divination. But again, we've got those characters. I am dying to know what those mean. Here's the Lovers. How interesting. It looks like children to my eyes. We've got a couple little bats and these beautiful peonies, I guess. And how interesting is that? I want to look in the book and see if we get anything at all here. The Lover's card shows the Cupids of China. Okay, the god of harmony and the goddess of union. Twin lotus flowers on one stalk, a pair of bats, and a toad are all symbols of a happy marriage. Okay, where's the toad? There's the toad in the little box. So these are gods. Good, I'm glad that we get that. Here's the Chariot. Wow. There you see lots of movement. I love the stylized clouds, the ribbons. It's just beautiful. We only have one dragon pulling it. Here's Strength with the tiger. Look at the moon, and I love these dark clouds. The Hermit, who has a little assistant following him. The Wheel of Fortune, again, we get those trigrams of the I Ching, and we get two dragons, a fire dragon, a water dragon, and a tiger. Oh, and there's a tortoise. So those, water, fire, that's probably earth, or maybe he's air and he's water. I don't know. Justice. I want to look. The Wheel of Fortune is the yin-yang sign in the 8 hexagrams. C5, Heavenly Master. Around it are 4 creatures, a tiger, symbol of dignity and sternness, a phoenix, that's the phoenix, C3, the Empress, a dragon, C4, the Emperor, and a tortoise, symbol of the universe. Together, the 4 creatures form the quadrants of the sky. Okay. We do get some information. There's Justice, a warrior. How interesting that Justice is a warrior, I assume. Could be wrong. I'm not going to look everyone up. Look at this. So the Hanged Man is hanging Ghost. Oh my goodness. That took a turn. In ancient China, being treated badly with no recourse to justice was a reason for suicide. The hanging ghost is the soul of a person who was wronged. It exhorts people to be kind to one another. Okay. Here's the death card. Temperance. So we don't see anything recognizable here with temperance. Someone in prayer. Here's the devil. We've got is that a horse and a bull, or a donkey and a bull? I think it's a horse. And we see chains and cuffs. Wow. I'm going to look this one up too, but then I'm going to leave it for you guys to figure out. I do believe this is still an available deck. A horse-headed demon and a bull-headed demon hold chains and a spear with which to torment the souls during their trials in hell. The horse-headed demon is also associated with the thunderbolt, the blow of which is like Buddhist doctrine which dispels illusion and wickedness. Okay, so they're demons, obviously. Here's the tower. Wow! Look at these. Look at the drums that demon is standing on. And here's the tower getting hit. Flames and chaos. That's gorgeous. Here's the star. And look at the change. I mean, I love to see how a card goes from this, really chaotic to calm. With the deer, the moon, again, peaceful. She's holding a rabbit. The rabbit in the moon. Then we have the sun, which is this archer. Talk about stylized. And there's it looks like many suns in the sky. I am not going to look at and the sun just came out here speaking of. I don't know how much that's going to help. You don't need to see me. You can see how frizzy my hair is, though. Dang. Okay. Here's Confucius. Okay, I pulled the curtain because of the screen, the sun coming through the screen. So the sun came out nice and bright when we hit the sun card. Here's Confucius for judgment. How interesting is that? I do have to look at that one. The teachings of Confucius emphasize benevolence, a sense of duty, serenity, justice, and wisdom. The philosophy is based on the tenet that the universe and humanity are regulated by a moral order. Atonement, judgment, self-perspective. So the meanings are the same, but we just get the different images. And here's the universe instead of the world. We don't get the 4 characters. We just get this beautiful, serene-looking goddess. Oh, it's Kuan Yin. Look, she does have this vessel that she's pouring water out of. Then we're into the swords. Here's the king. Clearly has an upturned sword. The queen. I like that they're facing different directions. I like when there's a variety. I was just noticing in my daily reading this morning with the Mind's Eye Tarot that the people in her deck are either facing forward or to the left. There's not a lot of variety, so you can't really, rely on whether they're looking to the past or future because they're all looking to the past. Anyway, there's the Queen of Swords. Here's the Knight. Definitely we see air. Definitely we see that movement leaping into the air. And there's the page with greenery. How interesting that it's not very blue and airy looking. All right. There's the 10. Like a magician, he's launching these swords at you. Yikes. Incoming. Here's the 9. And we see someone actively battling rather than just kind of, up in the middle of the night freaking out. I like that. Then we have the 8. Very different. So, this is kind of a problem because we have the standard meanings, But the images are very not standard. 4 warriors holding 2 swords each assume a defensive stance. Crisis, calamity, domination, imprisonment, turmoil, bad news. So we don't get that, blindfolded, imprisoned by your own thoughts, but we certainly get this defensiveness, acting out of what's going on in your head, I guess. There's the 7. Looking a lot like the 5 of Wands, if I'm honest. The 6. So we don't, again, 3 people each holding 2 swords. We don't see that movement across, movement through. Maybe, they're on their journey and those swords are going to protect them. Here's the 5. Only one person. So you're going to get very different meanings if you key into the images rather than the standard meanings. Here's the 4 of Swords. They're planted in the ground. The 3, again, fighting. Wow. I mean, I like it. Here's the 2. Again, no blindfold. So we have a lot of very similar cards here. Just people practicing their martial art. And here's the Ace. A lot of movement, a lot of agility and grace shown there. Here's the King of Staves for Wands. The Queen, look how old. Wow. Like a dowager. The Knight. And he's standing pretty still. And here's the Page. And he's old. How interesting is that? Here I go. The Page of Staves is an old man leaning on a staff. Behind him are cypress wrapped in fog. That's all it says. For the description, then there's the meaning. Here's the 10 of Staves. Again, we get, a lot of magician stuff. He's holding this thing in smoke. It's like he's commanding these wands. And there's the 9. Okay, he's a little bit overwhelmed. And the 8. So people each holding 2. You get the idea of them flying through. There's the 7. The 6. The 5. So they're not like, sparring with each other, but we've got them here like they're talking over a plan, collaboration. There's the 4. Look at the balance. That's very interesting. Here's the 3. Lots of movement. And the 2. Again, age. The depiction of age. And there's the Ace. I think this is a deck that you're going to do better with if you've got those meanings in your head already, and then you can add the nuance of what's in the image. There's the King of Cups. Oh, look how beautiful. The Queen with those cranes. Just gorgeous. If we didn't have Queen of Cups on here, would I know that's the Queen of Cups? No, absolutely not. Here's the Knight of Cups. I really do wish the Knights were more like Knights. This almost looks like a 9 of Cups, self-satisfaction. And then there's the Page. Here's the 10, yippee. The 9, okay. The 8. Seven, that's recognizable. 6. The 5, yeah, I can see loss there. The 4. the 3, like the water in the background, the 2, we don't see relationship, we don't see two people, and the ace. Again, kind of green, but she's got that cup in her hand. Then we have the king of coins. The queen, look at her. Wow. Look at this beautiful phoenix. The knight. I'd say, you know, the knight that's standing still, but 3 out of 4 of them are. Here's the page. 10. Riding a tiger. Oops. There's the 9. So I'm assuming that's a goddess because it looks like a little chubby little girl. There's the 8. Okay, we do get an idea of apprenticeship. There's the 7. The 6. Measuring out to pay debts. The 5. Oh, this is interesting. So talk about weighed down by money, and look at one of them's like around his neck. So he is all tangled up in the money. And that's the 5. Okay, wait. So it's like money is an oppressing factor. Here's the 4. I was kind of thinking of the 4 with looking at the 5. Got them all tied together. The 3. No idea of collaboration. The 2. Now that looks more like a 2 of cups because we see 2 people. And there's the ace. All right. Let's give it a blessing and a test drive. Uh-oh. I might need more sage. Hold on. Nah, I can make that work. A good witch can make anything work. Never forget it. It's a very interesting deck, but I you know, it's very characteristic of those 1980s US Games decks, where it was just, here's what tarot means. Can you draw it in your style, you know? By air and fire may you be purified and charged. Oh, in the book too. And by water and earth may you be blessed and made whole. By the sound of the bell, and you know, this deck being in the clearance bin, I'm sure there were a lot of hands that have looked at it, so may any negativity be cleared, and may the spirit enter in. Guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you for being here. Thank you for this wonderful deck. Gratitude to the artist and to Stuart Kaplan, of course. And I offer you fresh water. I offer you the fire of Azrael to bring in the spirit of divination. Let's go. I'm going to shuffle like a US Games deck. You see it fits perfectly in my hands. And yeah, cardstock is no issue whatsoever. And I'll show you again what my newest test for deck size is. If I can hold it in my hand and thumb through like this, then they're not too big. All right, let's do another riffle. They are a little uneven at the top edge, but I mean minimally so. Obviously it shuffles well. They're glossy, so they kind of stick. They've got that coating, so they kind of stick together, but that's okay. If it's a huge issue, get some fanning powder. It's what sleight of hand magicians use to Make sure their cards can slip against each other so you can fan them out. All right. They don't want to overhand. They don't want to cut shuffle all that well. You got to have a really loose grip on them, or they just kind of stick together. All right. Now, let's reading for the collective. What do we need to know whenever you're watching this in order to move from our highest vibration? Okay, Page of Staves, Wheel of Fortune, King of Cups. Whoops. I kind of forgot about those. All right. The Nine of Staves, Temperance, and the Knight of Swords. How interesting. We only get one actual numbered card, 3 courts from 3 different suits and 2 majors. We certainly got a good shuffle. So, going intuitively from, the standard meanings that I know, because that's what this deck has, Page of Wands, Page of Staves is about communication and kind of energy incoming. The pages are the beginnings of that suit energy as far as, a human experience of them. So wands being fire and passion and creativity. The Page of Staves is looking to where to spend that passion. It's about, and I think I read him, didn't I? Yeah. An old man leaning on a staff. A loyal person, an envoy, emissary, trusted friend, a stranger with good intentions, a bearer of important news. Using the Hanson Roberts, which was my main deck for 30 years of a professional business, it was about communication. The Page of Staves said there's something incoming, whether that's communication, whether that's inspiration, it's something incoming. So it's kind of like putting ourselves in the position of being able to receive that inspiration or channel that communication. Wheel of Fortune here says seasons turn, things change, so that we are right now at a place of things shifting and changing. And, part of that is if things aren't quite the way you'd like them to be right now, sit still, because things are changing. This is organic change, natural change, seasonal change. He's kind of looking, what's the message here? With the message incoming is this too shall pass. And that, time marches on and things change. The Wheel of Fortune can also be that sort of roll of the dice, destiny, fortune, good or bad luck. But let's go here. King of Cups. And okay, here I am hating court cards again. So King of Cups is emotional stability. It says that my emotions are very strong, but I don't repress them. I feel every bit of them because they give me information, but I don't let them run the show. So we've got information coming in. We've got passion. We've got steadiness, reliability. King of Cups is also loyalty, commitment, emotional commitment through change. The Nine of Staves. Yes, we are going to the book. He's got all of these flying at him, and he's holding one up. A young warrior braves the attack of 9 magic staves. Expectation of difficulties and changes, deception, a pause in a current struggle. Deception, really? Huh. Okay. I haven't read those old meanings in such a long time. So we've got Wheel of Fortune here, and then we've got difficulties. So it's saying that, the Page of Staves here is talking about being dialed into our own passion, our own vision. It's like the beginnings of intention, setting intention through times that are changing, through times where we're feeling overwhelmed. He's kind of looking down this way. And then we have Temperance talking about how to balance these things out. Okay, so when we've got stuff coming at us, and maybe with our passion and inspiration here, we have too many ideas coming at us. Things are changing. Time is marching on. I have to do something. What am I going to do? Too many ideas. And so Temperance here can talk about maybe weeding something out to bring it into balance. It certainly says we've just got to get ourselves still and peaceful, not letting this rock us one way or another. And then Knight of Swords is woohoo! Knight of Swords can be impulsiveness, rashness. It's certainly intense energy. A knight escapes his enemies on a magical flying horse. Bravery, skill, the strength and dash of a young man, heroic action, impetuous rush into the unknown. All right. Did I look up Temperance? I don't think I did. A monk prays in a temple. Buddhist nuns and monks begin monastic life by shaving their heads and making 9 burns on their scalps with joss sticks. Wow. The bell behind him is rung to mark periods of prayer and meditation, and it symbolizes stillness and veneration. Moderation, temperance, patience, accommodation, harmony, fusion, management, adjustment. So it's interesting when I go from like the bottom up, we've got this rash, impulsive, I've got to go now and do it now. So, the passion, the inspiration incoming could really make us want to launch. But it's saying that we need to keep things in control. All right? We need to temper that rush of energy so that it's not just carrying us away. And King of Cups up here too talks about emotions carrying us away. Knight of Swords can talk about maybe anger or our thoughts and what's going on. It's just like whoosh. And Wheel of Fortune says that, talks about taking a chance. I'm going to take some hits on these court cards. Ooh. Death. 6 of Swords, and the Queen of Swords. So we go from the Knight to the Queen, where, okay, Death card at the top now talks about things ending, of course, and it's an ending that's for good and forever. So we're looking at the overwhelm here, and this is talking about looking through the eyes of your inspiration and passion, right? And looking at what needs to end. What do we need to just finally close the door on? Because down here we've got all of these things coming at you. All of these fiery ideas, all of this creativity coming at you, and it's overwhelming and needs to come back into balance. And one of the ways that can happen is recognizing, and this could be for the season. Something's done for the season, which is interesting. 6 of Swords talks about getting slowly and steadily through whatever difficulties we're in at the moment. And then Queen of Swords at the bottom talks about what we do. Okay, wait. Let's read. Okay. The Queen holds a sword. Her attendants carry fans decorated with phoenixes. Quick-witted, intensely perceptive, a subtle person, may signify a widow or woman of sadness, mourning, privation, absence, loneliness, separation. So she always was kind of, I called her the wounded woman. And it talks about, your past emotional hurts and sort of armoring yourself because of that. So she can indicate that we need to soften and remove the armor. The king up here is the reminder that, we're mature. We can handle our emotions. We don't need to let them run the show. Six of Swords is navigating emotional waters because we have that expertise. As things are changing, we are able to go through these changes. And that Death card again. And then we get King of Swords. So we get all the then we get Hanging Ghost. All right. So I think there really is a message here of balance. When we see the Wheel of Fortune turning, seasons turning, each in their time, Temperance about balance, King of Cups about emotional maturity. It can also be emotional control. But emotions aren't there to be controlled. They're there to be experienced and processed. And he knows how to do that without getting knocked off balance. So Knight and Queen of Swords, we've got, pardon me, sort of a rush of thoughts. And we need to be aware of our old wounds. Page of Coins. I just keep pulling up courts, you guys. All right. Well, I think some things end, some things have to end, or we're overwhelmed. Some things end and change just for a season. As things are changing, we keep ourselves in balance. We kind of temper our impulsiveness, our rashness, our anger with the skills that we have gained through our own hardships in the past. Steely determination, strong insight and discrimination. We have the ability to look at what's kind of overwhelming us and decide what really affects us and what doesn't. Wow. And the Hanging Ghost. There's, the Wheel of Fortune and the Hanging Ghost have that kind of patience and waiting. So does Temperance. So things are changing, and what we need to do is wait, try to calm our impulsiveness with our clear-eyed vision, with our emotional maturity, with our ability to say no and to stop something possibly for good and forever, or maybe for a season. Wow. Very interesting deck. Very interesting deck. Let me know what you think. Wait a minute. I'm going to get in the middle there. Okay, close enough. Let me know what you think of this interesting, interesting older US Games deck. I am very happy to have it in the collection. But is it going to be one of my favorite decks? No. I don't think so. I need to get the other blocking card out. So anyway, let's have a conversation. Please hit the like button on your way out. Let me know if you got something from that reading. I will see you next time. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.